Quack, 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 quack. Here we go. Quacketology begins. 32 potential signings for the Eagles on offense. We break it down. We're going to figure out who the most likely signing for the Eagles is on that side of the ball. EJ Smith, Wulf, stay with us. Free agency begins. Welcome to the PHLY Eagles Podcast on a Wednesday afternoon. We are live here in the Xfinity studio, and we're presented by our friends at Ashley. Wulf, EJ Smith, you're back.
I'm back.
And a happy Quacketology to you.
Quack, quack.
You're
back.
Your first one.
Yes, I'm very, very excited. I've got a couple of things.
Just like a duck. You're very cool and calm up top, but down below you're pitter-pattering. Who knows what's going on?
I don't like that visual that much. I'm very excited for my first Quacketology. I was watching Quacketologies of old.
Really?
So I wore this hoodie because you wore this hoodie 2 years ago for Quacketology.
As we all remember, of
yes,
course.
as everyone will remember. I'm going to try. It was good to listen back to a Zach and Bo version of this show for a few reasons. And by the way, I know that my sicko card has been called into question. I had already watched the Quacketology. Like, I had to go from 58 all the way back to 0.
Okay.
So I just, I'm proving my bona fides here. I'm going to try and sprinkle in some, like, ZB references because, again, it was, like, re-energizing to listen to ZB on the show. So you will be hearing some Jim Boeheim references, and you will be hearing...
We definitely don't need Jim Boeheim references.
The term high watermark. I'm going to try to mix that in every once in a while. Just to, bring some nostalgia to the show.
Terrible start. Now, some interesting developments on the Quacketology front. Very exciting here. For the very first time ever, as I mentioned on the show yesterday with Fran, the Eagles' needs in free agency are such that it's pretty evenly split. In fact, it's perfectly evenly split. We have 32 players on offense on the left side of the bracket and 32 on the right side of the bracket. And actually, we can even take a look at the full bracket. This beautiful.
Wow.
Look at that. Fantastic.
Oh,
nice job. And the Quacketology logo, Lindsay, just beautiful.
Man, I love that logo.
So, before we get into the first matchup, and we'll see how long this takes. This may just be round 1 today, round 1 tomorrow on defense, and then everything on Friday. But as the Eagles enter free agency, and let's make this the Wawa Wednesday.
The big deal.
Big deal. Drinking my Wawa right now.
Shout out to Wawa.
What are your big picture expectations for the Eagles in free agency on offense?
I think that they need to draft proof for the roster. It's something we've spoken about where the Eagles' track record is typically to make sure that you don't go into the draft with any glaring needs. So you look at spots like tight end right now, I think wide receiver, the depth at wide receiver, and then depth along the offensive line. And depending on what happens with Tanner McKee, you might also say quarterback there. They will probably try to make sure that they have competition for those spots going into the draft. Even if you do draft somebody in the early rounds, you want to have someone that, again, can provide competition for that player and then put you into a position where you are in the draft able to say, okay, this isn't a good spot to take a tackle. So we have, insert free agent, whoever wins Quacketology here, to make sure that you have addressed that position. So especially at tight end, I think that's going to be important. I'd be shocked if the Eagles went into the draft, with a glaring hole at tight end. I think that they'll have to do some work in free agency to make sure that they're not forcing that pick in a month's time.
So let's quickly go through it. There are a couple quarterbacks on the docket today, and that is in case they do trade Tanner McKee and they need to backfill there. You will not see any running backs here.
Right.
It's an interesting running back market. Not for the Eagles. You've got Saquon Barkley. You've got Tank Bigsby. You've got Will Shipley. That's fine. And I think it would be nice for them to add somebody in the draft, but they don't need to worry about this in free agency. Wide receiver. There will be several wide receivers that we discuss. If they trade A.J. Brown, it's a different type of wide receiver you're looking for.
Yeah.
If they keep A.J. Brown, I think you still want somebody. Now, I think they could enter the draft as is at wide receiver with
I agree
Darius
with that.
Cooper
Yeah.
and maybe Johnny Wilson coming back. Like, they're not going to be good going into week 1 with that.
Yeah.
But I think you could go in the draft, figure out what you have, and then there will be somebody available to add to the group afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Tight end, obviously, is the major one, and there are a lot of tight ends we're going to discuss today. So how do you view, if they do let Dallas Goedert go, which I do not think is a fait accompli at all.
Yeah, I agree with that. I thought you guys did a good job framing that on yesterday's show.
And I thought the conversation with Fran was good in the sense of, do you think it would make more sense, and we will discuss this when we get to the players, to sign someone like a Cade Otton who can be your starter and do both for you, or to sign 2 complementary parts, a receiving tight end, a blocking tight end, and now you have, with those 2 guys, like enough for a room, and then you see what comes in the draft.
Yeah, I slightly lean toward like the Cade Otton type, like a professional. You can have someone that you feel, because like the thing about Cade Otton that we'll talk about is like it's a player that you can just put in as your number 1 tight end and feel good about that. And I think that there are some other guys that we will talk about that fit that mold. I understand like the porque no los dos argument with like some of these guys who are going to get $6 or $7 million. And you get 2 of them, and that really does kind of draft-proof the room. But I don't know, it's such a good draft for dirty work tight ends, guys that can fill out the room, that I almost would feel okay paying for, somebody that you can feature. Again, this does depend heavily on Jalen Phillips, right? If you're signing Jalen Phillips to a high number, you're not going to have as much room to maybe sign 2 of those guys. But for that, or one of the guys at the top of the market either. But I do think, if you told me that they could secure like somebody you feel good about being a number 1, and then they go into the draft trying to make sure they have the number 2 and number 3 really penned down by the end of the draft, I'd feel okay about that. You go the other way?
I do go the other way. As I look at it, there was one person who I feel differently about, but I feel like even Cade Otton, I feel like the second you sign Cade Otton, you're preparing to replace him.
Cade Otton's not my answer, for the record.
Yeah.
A player like Cade Otton. Because, the production, if you signed a player like Cade Otton, you would say, okay, we're going to put him into like a Dallas Goedert role, and you're expecting maybe not quite Dallas Goedert production, but close to it, I would say.
Yeah, but the money it's going to take to
Cade Otton
sign, I know, but the money it would take to sign a player like that, who at the top of the tight end market, it's more the money you're spending is like, if you signed an edge guy for that, they're starting, right? If you sign any other position, they're here for at least 2 years.
Yeah.
You sign a tight end like that, I don't know. If you draft a tight end in the second round, Cade Otton can go to the curb next year.
I think we're probably, so it's funny because I'm probably talking about a player slightly below that Cade Otton market, and you're talking about a player slightly like above the market I'm probably arguing against. I think we're probably closer to this.
And then I also think offensive line is something that I do expect them to address in some degree in free agency with a Mekhi Becton type signing.
Yep.
Somebody who has some theoretical position versatility, some real upside to add to a group that needs real backup plans. And if you want to talk about actually draft proofing, having someone who you could rely on starting if Lane can't start week 1 or whatever it is without having to use a first round pick on it, I think it is something that they will try to do. And what we haven't talked about yet, what makes all of this so interesting, is the most fascinating part of how they attack free agency is it's an entirely new offensive staff.
Yeah.
The new offensive line coach, it's a new offensive coordinator, obviously. The whole staff is different. And so they get this is where, unlike the draft, where you got to just sort of let it come to you and draft the best of what is available, you can pick and choose and spend on what you want to add specifically to this offense. And so it is going to be some truth telling.
Yeah, it was a fun exercise. You can see this is about as good as a spreadsheet can look for me.
It's pretty good.
There's check boxes in there.
Look at this.
For the cohabitation matrix.
Yeah, nicely done.
And the cohabitation matrix is a lot different for the Eagles these days because they have a new offensive staff. So, I see Anthony DeBona in the chat. I saw that he went through and tried to figure out all the players that have touch points to the new Eagles offensive staff. I did something similar last night, and it was definitely a different exercise because you're like, where's that guy been? There will be some interesting names to talk about here because they have worked with guys who are now on the Eagles staff.
All right, let's get into it. Close the book on the big deal presented by our friends at Wawa, and we start at the top. Now, usually, Quacketology, bracketed randomly. with maybe a few little tweaks in there.
But Jim Boeheim got in the ear of the selection committee, and now there's a new process.
I don't know why on such a fun day you would bring up someone I hate.
That's the point. Doesn't it make you feel nostalgic? Doesn't it bring you back?
Instead, this year we have an S curve based on projected guaranteed money. So the number one seed of all the potential signings for the Eagles on offense in terms of the projected money that we're expecting them to get is Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely, the Baltimore Ravens tight end, and he's going up against the 32 seed, as it were, our old friend, Jack Stoll. And so let's talk tight ends. Isaiah Likely, 6'4", 245, has obviously been the backup to Mark Andrews over the course of his rookie contract. You can talk yourself into the upside here. Fran discussed on the show yesterday that, Likely had some pretty good blocking highlights at Coastal Carolina. He has not been used quite that way in the NFL. In fact, in terms of just like go out and line up on the slot and be a receiver, only Mark Andrews in the same offense and Mike Gesicki have lined up in the slot more than Isaiah Likely over the past couple seasons. But if you're thinking like, as Howie Roseman needs to think with these things, who is someone who you can get more out of, who you can get surplus value out of?
Okay, so you're going to like this. I've got 3 templates here as past Eagles signings, and I think Isaiah Likely falls into one of the 3.
Okay.
Do you want to guess which one? Or do you want me to give you the 3 and then you can guess?
Just go ahead.
Okay, my 3 are Mekhi Becton, Saquon Barkley, and Brandon Brooks. 3 success stories that the Eagles have had in free agency. I think Isaiah Likely fits into the Saquon Barkley camp. Draft pedigree, a traitsy player that you maybe, like you said, can extract more from.
I mean, Saquon's like a little bit different.
I mean, but it's kind of in that vein. I think that Saquon and Mekhi Becton are probably like in the same vein. Obviously, Saquon was a lot more successful, but the draft a player with draft pedigree who is someone who, again, you think the second chapter is going to be the best chapter.
Yeah, if you take out the games that, or if you just extrapolate the games that Mark Andrews missed over the course of Isaiah Likely's rookie contract.
Ooh, I like
and
this.
Also add on the games that he played at least 75% of the snaps, where he was like really involved in the offense. You extrapolate that out to a full season, it's not a 1,000-yard season. It's like 50 catches for 700 yards.
Yeah, solid.
He's, as it says there, going to be 26 years old this season. I think if the Eagles are going to spend at the position, truly at the top of the market, Isaiah Likely would be the guy more than the Cade Otton types, because I think you can sell yourself on the upside. Now, we also have to discuss the thing that Howie Roseman said about needing to care more about blocking. I still don't think he's going to pay a lot of money for someone who can't be a factor as a receiver.
Right. No, I completely agree. And I think that Isaiah Likely, you can already hear Howie Roseman saying, we looked at his tape in college and we think that he can be a plus in the run game as well because of the tools in his body. Like you could hear Howie Roseman saying that. The thing I wrote down for Isaiah Likely is we have Kenyan Sadiq at home. And that is who, it's funny, if you go to Fran's Draft Guide, which everybody should become a diehard, go to allphly.com and check out Fran's Draft Guide. The player comp for one Kenyan Sadiq, a souped up Isaiah Likely. So maybe if you are, watching Kenyan Sadiq tape and you're like, man, it'd just be so good to put this player into a Sean Mannion offense, maybe Isaiah Likely is the draft proofing that you can do in free agency there.
I think he is enough to make you not have to worry about drafting a tight end.
Yeah, I don't know if you draft Kenyan Sadiq if you have Isaiah
days.
Likely.
Yes.
We have Kenyan Sadiq at home.
Now, on the other side, old friend Jack Stoll, one of the great voices in the locker room. Love that gravel.
Okay, I hadn't thought about that.
Oh, great deep baritone out of Jack Stoll. Jalen trusts him. You know that. Here's a fun one. These are Jack Stoll's target rates by season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is just the amount of times he's thrown at when he runs a route. As a rookie with the Eagles, 7.6%. 2022, 6.5%. 2023, 5.6%. 2024, back up to 7.1%. 2025 with the Saints, 23.4%. They started throwing him the ball when he was on the field. I will always love Jalen trusts him.
I that was my
For
only
a
note.
guy
Was
who
Jalen Hurts trusts him?
has never been thrown to. I have one trivia question for you here. Jack Stoll has played 54 games with Jalen Hurts. Okay, that ranks 6th on the Eagles in terms of among all eligible pass catchers.
Yeah.
Where would you think that Jack Stoll ranks over the course of Jalen Hurts' career in how many times he's targeted him?
And how many people are in the sample?
Everyone Jalen's ever played with the Eagles.
Yeah, give me do you not know how many there have been?
Well, that's what I'm asking you.
Is
He ranks 6th in terms of games played next to Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
Where does he rank in targets?
Yeah, but I'm saying like how many players are even on the list?
You don't know, use your brain. Probably 50?
I would like to know because I imagine he's probably last or second to last. I'm going to guess 52nd.
In total targets, EJ? Come on.
Yeah, I'm bad at these.
15th. But
wait, how many players have played? Oh, okay. All right,
do
fine.
you understand what I'm asking?
No, I didn't, obviously.
Okay.
Of all math is not
of
my
all the
strong suit.
players that Jalen Hurts has played with since
Oh,
joining
all the
Eagles,
players. Okay, I thought you were saying
2000
receivers and tight ends only. Okay.
and running backs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's
How many
6th
are
in
there?
games played, but 15th
Yeah, okay.
in targets, which is
Yeah. All right.
speaks to the disparity.
I mean, yes, I knew the disparity was
Do you
going to
think
be
you
terrible.
could name how many of the 14 players
Obviously not.
who have more targets? The most targeted players in Jalen
Quez is
Hurts'
higher
Eagles
than him.
career.
Quez Watkins has got to be higher than
Quez is number 4, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes.
Man, that does seem higher than I would have expected.
There are 14 above. If you can get 11,
No, I don't want to do this.
if you can get 11 or
fun
more,
show.
if you can get 11 or more, then when we are at an impasse, I'm voting for one, you're voting for the other.
I will
you can
concede
break
it.
the tie.
I will concede it because this is terrible
Oh,
podcasting.
come on.
This is bad podcasting.
Name
Me
the
just sitting
players
there.
who Jalen Hurts has targeted the most.
I'm gonna try and think of like one more obscure one. I mean, Grant Calcaterra.
Grant Calcaterra is above him. He's at number 12.
Okay, but it's close. This is such bad podcasting. I don't want to do this.
Oh my gosh.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
Have you ever heard of Devontae Smith? He's number 1.
Yeah, but I don't want to just AJ Devontae.
Yeah.
And then from there it's harder.
Well, you can get number 3.
Dallas Goedert.
Yes.
And then
Quez is 4, which is
Quez
funny.
is 4. That
Yeah.
shocks me. Yeah, like I said,
Don't forget about running backs.
Okay, so we're gonna go Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders is number 8.
Okay, is Saquon higher than Miles Sanders?
Saquon is number 6.
Oh wow. Okay, is Will Shipley above him?
Will Shipley is actually not above him.
Okay.
Will Shipley's all the way down to 20. Kenneth Gainwell is number 5.
DeAndre Swift.
DeAndre Swift is there. He's number 11.
Ooh, okay.
Number
So close.
7, Jalen Reagor.
Yeah, we could have been here for a while.
2020
I
heavy.
wouldn't have said Jalen.
Number 9 will be discussed today. That's Zach Ertz.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Number 13, Boston Scott. And number 14, Greg
Boston
Ward.
Scott has more targets than Jack Stoll.
So does Greg Ward.
Greg Ward doesn't surprise me as much because Greg Ward had that sneaky 2019 season with Jalen. Or no, 2020.
2020.
Yeah.
All right.
This was terrible.
What's more likely? Jack Stoll or Isaiah Likely?
Isaiah Likely.
The chat has weighed in over 70% with Isaiah Likely. Congratulations to Isaiah Likely, the number 1 seed, moving on. Second round.
Quez Watkins has the 4th most targets. That's insane.
Of Jalen Hurts' career.
Yeah, I would have thought like Quez would have been like 10th, 11th.
There you go. All right, we're through one matchup. Time to take a break. Back with much more on the other side. Coming up next, Adam Trautman against Joe Flacco. Charlie Kolar against Jamaree Salyer. And Jauan Jennings against the aforementioned Zach Ertz. Hey, Lindsay, what time is it? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's time to make your home work smarter, not harder. Because with a TrueMark Financial home equity line of credit, you can tap into your home's equity to handle renovations, upgrades, or whatever's next on your list. A TrueMark Financial HELOC Select gives you the flexibility to borrow when you need it and on your timeline. You start with a revolving line of credit, use only what you need, and when you're ready, you can lock in all or part of your balance at a fixed rate for predictable payments. You only pay interest on what you use, and as you pay it back, that credit becomes available again. No reapplying, no extra steps. Learn more at TrueMark's Financial Home Equity Line of Credit at TrueMark.com or stop by one of their 24 branch locations to get started. TrueMark Financial is federally insured by the NCUA and is an equal opportunity lender, NMLS 938. Make it happen with TrueMark.
Whether your favorite team wins or not, there's always another way to win on the BetParx online casino app. Check out brand new casino games like Huff and More Puff and Fireblaze Sky Queen, a BetParx exclusive. The only app you need to play all your favorite casino games in the palm of your hand. Play blackjack, roulette, craps, poker, baccarat, and hot online slots like Cash Eruption, 88 Fortunes, and Cleopatra online slots. Play hot online slots based on your favorite streaming shows, Walking Dead, Squid Game, Breaking Bad, and Peaky Blinders, and all your favorite classic casino games from wherever you are. New users even get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. Go to betparx.com and download the app right now and enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. You must be 21 and in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParx. You love to play, you play to win, you bet. BetParx. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Welcome back to the PHLY Eagles Podcast. Quacketology rolls on. The matchup number 2 here. Now, you will notice, I didn't say this for the audio listeners, we have projected contract details for everybody we're talking about today. And so next up is Adam Trautman against Joe Flacco. Adam Trautman, the Broncos tight end, formerly of Dayton, 29 years old. The contract we have here is a 2-year deal for $14 million with $7 million guaranteed, which that's about what blocking tight ends get paid. Now, We did the exercise yesterday with Fran, where if you split up all the free agent tight ends into efficient route runners and asked to pass block just as a proxy for, being trusted as a blocker, he's one of the 2 guys who's just barely above average in both. But, his career high in receiving yards is 263, and that was back in 2021. So this is not someone you were adding and all of a sudden expecting to be a real part of the passing game.
Right. Yeah, he did seem limited in terms of a pass catcher, which, it's probably one of those, he'd be ideal in you're signing 2 tight ends and you expect him to be more of the dirty work one. And for me, it's tough because I think you can find that guy in the draft.
I think that's probably right.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Joe Flacco. Now let's pretend this is a world in which they've gotten something for Tanner McKee.
Yeah.
A third or a second, whatever it is. Do you think there's any interest in a reunion with 41-year-old Joe Flacco, who, of course, as we all remember, shared a plane with Lindsay and Ben?
Oh, yeah. Before the Super Bowl.
I think Lindsay wants to weigh in here.
Oh, okay. All right.
I thought that was going to be one of your notes on his thing. Oh, it is. Sorry, I didn't change it. Didn't read them. I just copied and pasted them.
Yes, Joe Flacco, with his kids old enough that they could join the offensive staff.
Well, Flacco doesn't have as much experience in a Mannion scheme, which gives me pause.
Right.
So I think I'd probably lean Trautman here, even though I don't feel amazing about either of these. But yeah, it just feels like if they were going to sign a backup, some of the other ones that we have in the field make more sense because we've heard so much about the translators.
I think you're right.
The quarterbacks who can, the quarterbacks coaches who can help kind of integrate the scheme. As much as Joe Flacco is Sean Mannion from he's a variant of Sean Mannion, if you want to borrow a term from the Star Wars universe. I don't know if he is enough of a McVay Shanahan influenced variant to make that much sense.
I think that's right. I think Flacco, the only reason that he would want to come here is just to stay home.
Sure. Yeah.
I think this is not the most ideal fit. And a great note in the chat. And boy, does this speak to the life experience that our sickos are bringing to the table here. Jake Beckman says he sat next to Adam Trautman's mom during the Eagles-Broncos game.
Wow.
She was chill, even after the garbage intentional grounding call. So I think we have no choice but to back up Jake here and move Adam Trautman on to the second round of Quacketology.
Shout out to Mrs. Trautman for being chill.
Next up, congratulations to Adam Trautman.
The chat was behind us on this one.
Okay, yeah, Flacco, that was they can't all be winners.
Yeah.
All right, next up is another interesting one with another tight end as we continue our focus on that position. And this is Charlie Kolar, the third tight end from the Baltimore Ravens, who is an interesting player.
Yeah.
27 years old. And There are people who really love his blocking.
There are people out there who really love his blocking.
And you know what? This is funny because we are going to be at odds on this one.
Okay.
27 years old. Our projected contract details here are 3 years. What is that? $22 million with 14 guaranteed. And there are people who like really think he's going to have a big market.
There are. Yeah.
It's an interesting arc for him as well. You know, in college, he was just a volume pass catcher at Iowa State. And so he did change the type of player that he was with the Ravens. My hang up with Charlie Kolar, and also when he as a receiver, yards per route run, very efficient.
He's got some juice.
1.84, like that's top 8 in the league, but it's a very small sample size. And this is someone who over the course of his rookie career, or his rookie contract, 4 years, EJ, has played more than 50 snaps in a single game only 7 times.
Yeah. We love an underutilized game.
You're gonna sign a guy to be your starting tight end who has never played more than half of a season playing half of a game. He's got a great agent.
No,
I think Charlie Kolar.
Don't make this about the agent.
No,
this is about the tape.
I've been seeing the rankings.
About the
Charlie
film.
Kolar's going to get paid. This guy has an agent who was working overtime.
All right,
so shout out to his agent.
We're gonna have an exercise here.
Okay.
First things first.
All right,
I told you before the show there was a player that I did research on today, and I texted Fran and said Chig Okonkwo. Because
what a turncoat.
I got a little hot and bothered. I want you to read my notes on Charlie Kolar.
34, this is all caps. 34-inch arms, oh my God. EJ has heart emojis for him.
This is my type of player. Big, physical. I won't make you describe the clip, but I was so excited watching a clip of Charlie Kolar this morning.
Which one?
I thought about doing the grabby grabs.
Some Charlie Kolar
I thought about sending Lindsay the screenshots, and I was going to do a terrible Fran impersonation. This guy is built for the offense they want to run. If you want to find a tight end who can actually hold and seal the edge on an outside zone, he's your guy. He's got long arms. He's physical. And the reason, it's not the agent. It's the tape. He's got juice as a pass catcher. He's got juice as a run after the catch threat. He's physical. Like, to me, the right template for a tight end in this system in particular, I'm not comparing Charlie Kolar to this player for the record because, there are levels here. But you want like a George Kittle type, right? You want someone who is an absolute demon in the run game, who is, because they are so good in the run game, their physicality and their athleticism make them dynamic as a pass catcher as well. And I think that is the high watermark for Charlie Kolar here. I'm not saying that we've seen it because of the fact that he's been the third tight end in Baltimore and he's had limited opportunity to show it. I don't think you sign him and go, that's our number one tight end. We're done at the position. But I think that's like a really good high upside swing, depending on what the market is. So I was very excited about Charlie Kolar. He may or may not be my favorite player that I looked at today.
Really?
I mean, he is more of a high variance player, but come on, like, me, this is my type of player. Like, physical profile, traits over production. Yeah, he's my guy.
Now, very quickly, he's going up against Jamaree Salyer, an offensive lineman from the Los Angeles Chargers, who has 40 starts across the course of his rookie contract between tackle and guard. We're talking to Daniel Popper about him, who did the rankings for The Athletic. And the book is, he's a little bit shorter, 6'4", and so the instinct has been to move him to guard, and he hasn't been very good at guard, but he's held up well at tackle. So you're looking at him more as a tackle, but in theory, 4-position backup flex. Our projected contract here is 2 for $8 with $5 million guaranteed.
Yeah. I like Salyer, but come on.
I like Salyer enough. I'm willing to go with Kolar moving on here. I think we can. I'm excited to continue the Kolar discussion.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I am skeptical of just pulling out this guy can be your number one tight end, but I also don't think you should spend the money on him unless you think that that's true.
I mean, it depends on the money, but I think there is enough buzz around his market value that you probably are going to be spending. What was your projection here? I can't read that.
321 with 14 guaranteed.
Yeah. I mean,
that might be low.
Yeah, but I think that if you can get him for that, I mean, we're doing the exercise with these projections. Even if it's a little higher than that, you sign him and you take it as like you're taking a dart throw, but like you feel good about the floor being a guy who is going to be really effective in the run game and someone you can depend on in the run game. And then maybe you address it in the draft and you have like 2 or 3 avenues toward getting an elite tight end. So I think there's a chance. This is the first one. This is like your frisky like 8-9 matchup on a bracket, right? Where it's like it could go either way. Maybe it's like a team that won a conference in Salyer. I guess he's not that.
Yeah, I don't think we need to push Salyer too high up.
I'm a little worried that like they will sign Salyer, and my Charlie Kolar, defense is what led us away from it. But I'm excited about Charlie Kolar. I think he's awesome.
All right, let's move on. Charlie Kolar. By the way, I think Charlie Kolar is also another reminder, as Dallas Goedert is, that when it comes to draft prospects at the tight end position, Jackson Hawes aside, at a guy at the end of the draft, I don't care if a guy is a good blocker, as long as he has some willingness to do it and the physical attributes to do it.
Yes,
Dallas Goedert was bagged for his blocking coming in. Turned out to be a very good blocker. Charlie Kolar barely blocked. He was a high volume receiver, and turned into supposedly a very good blocker in the NFL.
Oh man, some of the clips, just so good.
All right, let's do one quick one here before we go to our next break. Jauan Jennings, the 49ers wide receiver, and he is going up against our friend Zach Ertz.
Yeah, this one's easy for
us. Here, Jauan Jennings is at 342 with 21 guaranteed. Whereas Ertz, who was coming off a pretty gnarly injury
it's
in December, torn ACL, and is probably like going to be out until the middle of the season. But I don't know.
I mean, we don't know what the timeline is. He got hurt in December.
Yeah.
He's old. Obviously, he's, what's he going to be, 35 next year, I think? Yeah. I'd still go Ertz. I don't know if they're going to be in the Jauan Jennings market for a multitude of reasons. I think he's going to get paid, and I don't know if the Eagles are going to be aggressive in that market. You could talk me into it, but I'd probably go with Ertz. I think like the possibility that like Zach Ertz a couple weeks from now signs with the Eagles, it wouldn't shock me. He does have to bury the hatchet with Nick Sirianni.
I struggle to see the Jauan Jennings thing happen. The one little thing that's somewhat interesting is that in terms of like average separation, he's like right next to AJ Brown.
Really?
Yeah, because he makes his living on contested catches and he can't separate. But I don't think that the Eagles are going to. Obviously, this would only be if they move on from AJ Brown. I don't think they're going to then replace him by overpaying for a guy who's already going to be 29, can't really run that fast.
I'm about to say,
really
average separation in that offense being that low is concerning.
The only thing you could squint and see is experience in the offense, but I don't love that.
I mean, there are some guys we'll
also
talk about later that also
big
have
headache,
experience.
Right? And so, I think Dom has enough to do.
Yeah, I think Zach Ertz is the one here.
I think we can all see Zach Ertz is a nice second week of free agency. Howie's like, I'm going to give the fans a little something. Yeah, I think.
I think the poll disagrees with us, but I know how you're going to respond to that.
That's fine. I mean, I'm not angry at the poll, but
yeah, I think there are other receivers.
We're advancing Zach Ertz.
Yeah, there are other receivers I'll pound the table for.
All right, time for a quick break to hear from some sponsors. On the other side, we roll on with the offense. Wan'Dale Robinson goes up against. You get to find out who it is that Lindsay and I were texting about how attractive the person is.
Ooh, yeah, they should guess.
Plus, Jalen Nailor, Alijah Vera Tucker, Deebo Samuel, Kendrick Bourne, Romeo Doubs, and a former Bo Wulf camp crush. Stay tuned.
What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. It's Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together. It finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. It's super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that lets you stream the game even when your whole family is online. Just picture it. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And the best part? No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment already included in the deal. Take it from me. A lot can change in 5 years. Championships are won, records are broken, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, that should stay reliable and the price should stay put. So lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. You can learn more at Xfinity.com. Again, that's Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only, restrictions apply.
Let me tell you about a local business that has been helping Philly homeowners and their businesses stay pest-free. I am talking about our friends at Evans Pest Control. Not some giant national chain. This is a local, family-owned, community-focused pest control company right here in the Philly area, and they have been earning the trust of our neighborhoods for years. I live in the city. I can tell you from experience, pests, they're not knocking. They just show up. And when you need some help clearing out the pests from your house or your business, Evans is the place to call. They use state-of-the-art equipment, safe and effective treatment options, and their techs go through continuous training so they're equipped to handle anything from rodents, insects, and termites to bedbugs and more. So all you got to do is if you see signs of pests or you just want to prevent them before they start, reach out to Evans Pest Control and visit evanspestmgmt.com to schedule your free consultation. PHLY Eagles Podcast. Quacketology rolls on as we work through 32 free agent targets for the Eagles to settle on one. Truth is, we're probably going to get through the first round today.
This has been fun.
And then once you get through the first round, everything moves quicker.
So, and it starts to get tense.
Next up, Wan'Dale Robinson against Jimmy Garoppolo. Wan'Dale Robinson, the Giants slot receiver, had a big year. Only going to be 25 years old next season. Our projected contract here, $348 with $28 guaranteed, which is a little bit pricey, obviously. Now, the thing that I could sell myself on with Wan'Dale Robinson is...
let's hear this.
I talked about this with Fran yesterday. If you are reimagining the offense to find your new number 3 target, okay, let's just get 2 blocking tight ends. Not even worry about them in the passing game because Jalen is always going to funnel it to AJ and Devontae.
Yeah,
maybe Wan'Dale Robinson is the number 3 guy, but then you get into willingness to throw over the middle, all that stuff. How do you feel about Wan'Dale Robinson?
Yeah, I just think he's going to get paid more than the Eagles will probably be able to pay him. He's an interesting player, and I think my only concern about what you just laid out there is that does kind of paint you into a corner in terms of what you're able to do offensively. You don't have other levers to pull if you feel like it's a week where you want to be multiple and have, dynamic tight ends. So, yeah, I think it's a good case, but I think Jimmy Garoppolo is interesting here because he actually your eyebrows raising oh, why? It has nothing to do with the way he looks, although I wasn't
going to say that. I'll say it. He's a handsome man.
He is a handsome man, but I think he's interesting for other reasons. I do think you could see him being the translator, right? Somebody who has worked in these schemes before.
Exactly.
Him and Jalen in a quarterback room would be fun, maybe a little bit interesting as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think him being
handsome.
It is a handsome quarterback room.
Yeah.
Is that the most handsome quarterback room in the NFL? It's
got
to be, right?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
But I don't know. How does Jalen feel about that? Having somebody else super handsome in the room. No shade to Tanner McKee.
Shout out to Mr. Lindsay, whose basketball team won their playoff game by 20-plus points last night.
Big time right there. Yeah.
I could absolutely see if you are looking for a translator, a scheme Sherpa, as it were, Jimmy G makes a lot of sense.
What does scheme Sherpa mean? What am I missing here?
I don't know. I just coined it.
I thought Jimmy G is a man who maybe wore a Sherpa. What?
What do you think a Sherpa is?
Isn't it like a coat?
You mean a shacket?
No. Isn't Sherpa like a lamb coat? Lindsay, bail me out here.
A Sherpa is, but it's also I think that comes from another word that Sherpa means, like a leader or something.
Yeah, it's like a very soft lambskin lining.
Okay.
The Sherpa people are a Tibetan ethnic group.
Okay. I hope I apologize. To
You know,
people.
It doesn't matter what Jimmy G's wearing. Chirp or not. Yeah. Chirp or not. Whatever.
What? Did I do something wrong?
It's totally fine. It's totally fine.
The chat
Now, I
is
don't think that
getting
it's
on
going to cost a lot of money to get Jimmy G. Obviously, he only made, I want to say 3 last year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I could absolutely see in a world in which you get a 3rd-round pick for Tanner McKee, Jimmy G makes a lot of sense.
Of the quarterbacks on the list, he was the one I found most intriguing.
I agree with that. So we're moving him on over Wan'Dale.
Yep.
Congratulations.
There are some receivers who I will be more excited for. I promise.
Okay. Next up, Jalen Nailor, the Vikings slot wide receiver, who reminds me a little bit of Charlie Kolar in the sense that he's got some people who are really gassing up his market.
Yeah, and it's like lack of opportunity too. Yeah,
and he is going up against Alijah Vera Tucker from the New York Jets, who, when healthy, has been very good and very versatile, but boy, has he not been healthy.
Yeah. So what's the market for Alijah Vera Tucker?
So I'll do Nailor first. Nailor we have at 224 with 12 guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
To me, Jalen Nailor is not that interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot.
85th of 99 wide receivers in yards per route run over the past 2 seasons. And the volume is not particularly good.
Mm-hmm.
I am uninterested in Jalen Nailor. Alijah Vera Tucker, I have here a 1-year bounce back prove it deal.
Sure.
$9 million, but only 4 or 5 guaranteed with incentives.
Oh, I'm in. You got me.
He's missed 41 games the last 4 seasons.
Yeah, but
including the entirety of the 2025 season. But if you are thinking like Howie Roseman, where can I get some surplus value? Where can I get some actual high upside? I feel like he's going to love the idea of Alijah Vera Tucker.
Yeah, and he's got positional versatility. He can play on both sides. Joe Douglas draft pick. I'm in. I thought you were going to have his market a lot higher. Like, I think that there's a chance he gets an opportunity to start and gets paid like starter money.
Yeah.
But for that number, oh yeah, I think he's a shoo-in for the next round.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of his market. And even
that's fine. That's fair.
I think there are some people who have him in their top 30, and there's some people who have
him
get down.
No, I'm not questioning the number you have there.
I'm not taking it at that.
I think it's representative of the fact that you did a lot of work to kind of gauge these. So no, if that is his market, I think he would make sense for the Eagles.
I would even be,
he checks all the boxes.
If you're Howie, and let's just pretend that you are thinking you have like $16 million to spend on offense.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would probably rather spend more than half of that on Alijah Vera Tucker and then cherry pick at the bottom of the tight end market than, spend it on Cade Otton. I don't know. We keep throwing Cade Otton under the bus.
Yeah, but
like,
he really has become like the punching bag.
And then just check a box at offensive line.
Yeah, no. To me, if Alijah Vera Tucker's market is not aggressive, he's going to be 27 next year. He's a former first-round pick, drafted by Joe Douglas.
Yes.
Like, all of those things are Eagles signing things. Like again, I won't show you guys the spreadsheet because it will be bad podcasting on my part. But like, the first thing I look at with a lot of these guys is, do they know somebody in the building? And were they high draft picks? And I know that sounds reductive, but when you look at the Eagles' best free agency signings and really what they like to do in free agency,
that's right.
It really starts with those 2 questions. So for that reason, I think Alijah Vera Tucker would make sense for them if, again, it's not like an aggressive market for him to get a starting opportunity elsewhere.
Yeah, it strikes me as a very Howie move.
Yeah, he'd be the 6th offensive lineman, and you'd feel really good about that. And also, it's worth mentioning, like, because
he could steal Tyler Steen's job too,
right?
In the same way that Mekhi Becton did.
Exactly, and it's worth mentioning, like, the Eagles went into last season it was rare that they didn't have that player on the roster.
Yes,
they had to go trade for Fred Johnson. I don't think they're going to make the same mistake 2 years in a row.
I think that's right. So Alijah Vera Tucker moves on over Jalen Nailor. We now close out. Oh no, this is not quite the last matchup of this region. This is now a matchup of ex-Niners wide receivers. Deebo Samuel against Kendrick Bourne. Deebo
Yeah.
will be 30 years old.
I'll be curious to see what the chat says about this one. Make sure you're voting.
His yak has been really steadily decreasing and fell off a cliff last year.
And that's like the player he is too, you know,
with the Commanders. I have here 112 with 8 guaranteed.
Yeah.
Now you can talk about the scheme fit, would certainly make some sense. And then of course, you see on the graphic there, you got to talk about the yams.
See, as a sicko,
you want to talk about
this is a long-standing joke.
Yeah, I mean, ooh, baby.
Okay.
Feel like that security guard watching Devontae Smith's.
That is a great callback.
Meanwhile, Kendrick Bourne, 31 years old, got him at 1.6 here. 4 or 5 guaranteed. Now, what's interesting is, I mean, I'm not making the case that they need to go out and sign Kendrick Bourne, but I mean, it is worth saying he is more productive and was more productive last season than Jalen Nailor or some of these other, coming off their rookie contract wide receivers who seem like they have a little bit higher of a market. I think you could spend money worse than on Kendrick Bourne.
Sure.
I don't know what purpose he serves for this offense if AJ's still here.
Yeah, stylistically, I wasn't sure about his fit, but I did write down he's kind of just like your professional receiver. He has problems with drops. I saw his drop rate was a little bit higher, but I do think if you're just looking for someone that you feel like can give you like league average, replacement level production, I think he does make sense in that vein. I think I'd put him above Deebo.
You would? Where does the chat weigh in? Do we have a poll on Kendrick Bourne versus Deebo Samuel?
I feel like people are
saying
not in
Kendrick Bourne 93%.
Yeah.
93% on Kendrick Bourne.
I understand if you're looking at it in a vacuum, like they're different profiles and you could have a preference one way or the other, but when you're thinking about the personalities at play, I mean, like what would Aaron Moorhead be voting for, you think? I guess maybe he would vote for Deebo. Get me the guy with the upside, but I don't know. I think that's a lot of personalities. Even if you traded AJ, it's like, we're just going to bring in another guy who has, had issues in the past.
I'm happy to throw the chat a bone.
Yeah, I think Kendrick Bourne, I think he's intriguing as a player. Again, it's stylistically, it's against what we've talked about, which is that I think that number 3 receiver, especially if AJ is still with the Eagles, you want a field stretcher, not like a physical possession type.
All right, congratulations to Kendrick Bourne. And now we move on to what is the final matchup of what I'm calling the James Casey region here. And that is someone with the easiest link to the new offensive coordinator, Sean Mannion, and that is Romeo Doubs, the 26-year-old wide receiver who figures to get a pretty handsome contract. We're projecting here $461 with 30 guaranteed. That might be light. Can win on the outside. And obviously plays with that fun helmet, and he's going up against none other than the great.
Oh no! I didn't realize these two were pitted up against each other.
Coyote Awashika.
Well, what Jim Boeheim would say.
On the market, 11 starts the last 4 years as Detroit's top backup. Mostly a guard, but can play tackle in a pinch. We love Coyote.
I got a beef with the selection committee. Jim Boeheim style here. This one's too hard for the first round. These are two juggernauts. These are two guys who I thought would have made it to the Final Four, and I'm watching them in the first round instead.
I mean, listen. Nobody in the world loves Coyote Awashika more than I do. But I feel like in a non-Jeff Stoutland world, I don't know that this is necessarily the right
I liked him.
fit.
I like Romeo Doubs a lot, though. I like Romeo Doubs as a Sean Mannion fit. I like him as a scheme fit. I like him just as a player. He's got a fun profile of being like a bigger physical wide receiver who still has juice after the catch, still athletic, has like movement skills you wouldn't necessarily expect at that size. So I think Romeo Doubs, if they were going to...
world in which he makes sense with A.J. Brown still on the team.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tougher to make that fit because I think what you talked about earlier is probably what you're doing there. You're not spending big at tight end. You're building it really around being like an 11 personnel team with 2 physical receivers that can kind of punish teams if they do match up with nickel to your 11 personnel, which is fun. I don't think it makes you multiple in a way where against a team that doesn't respond, the way that you want. You can't, get into heavy personnel packages and try and beat them up quite as easily. But I think for Romeo Doubs, that's the best receiving trio in the NFL. So there's your argument right there. I think if they're going to spend at receiver, Romeo Doubs is who I would spend it on.
Is who you would spend it on.
Is who I would, who I would pursue aggressively and spend big on. If they want to make, let's say that they re-sign Jalen Phillips and they still somehow have money for Romeo Doubs in this scenario.
Yeah, let's just give him extra money.
Well, it's like if they re-sign Jalen Phillips and then it's like we're not playing the comp pick game, we're going to go and make a splash in free agency. Romeo Doubs is a player I think would make sense at receiver.
I think it's pretty unlikely that that's where if they have a big spend, that's where it's going to be.
Sure, yeah. That's why I'm couching it with if they spend at receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
he's a fun player, man.
If you want to push him ahead of Coyote, I'm okay with that.
Would you have gone Coyote?
I think I probably, only because I don't think they're going to spend on that high on a wide receiver, but I don't feel super strong.
No, that's fair.
The other
the chat can be the tiebreaker. They're going Doubs.
The thing that I forgot to bring up at the top of the show is that at any point in here, you are allowed to insert Mekhi Becton.
I already have that
into the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. After he was reportedly informed that he's going to be released today. So at any point here, a twosome can turn into a threesome with Mekhi Becton. All right, we're moving on. Romeo Doubs. Congratulations to Romeo Doubs.
Sorry to Coyote.
First half of the offense bracket. Time to go to break. With more on the other side, we got some quarterbacks coming up, a bunch of wide receivers, and the tight end who EJ kicked to the curb because he found out about Charlie Kolar. Find exceptional flair on the season's top styles only at Ashley's President's Day sales event. Discover hot buys starting at just $349 or take advantage of no-interest financing for 60 months. With styles like this 5-piece sectional for only $47 a month, these President's Day savings won't last long, so don't miss out and save up to 20% off or enjoy 60 months no-interest financing with no minimum purchase, happening now at Ashley. Everybody's got their favorite hard tea. I'm not talking about soft tea. We're not talking about medium tea. We're talking about hard tea. But here's the thing. Have you ever actually looked at what's inside some of those other hard teas? Turned the can to read what's in it? Usually you can't because they don't tell you because they're hiding it. And while some competitors hide what's inside, Crooked Tea brags about it. They puff out their chest and say, look what we make this out of, because it is something to be proud of. We're talking real USDA organic tea for real flavor with zero sugar. No fake junk hiding behind the label. What you see is what you drink. So the next time you're at the store, flip the can, and if you can't find the ingredients, just put it back. Then grab a Crooked Tea, zero sugar, real tea, and fully transparent. You know it, Philly. Real recognize real, so why drink the fake stuff? Crooked Tea. The only thing better is a strip sack in the Super Bowl. Visit crookedtea.com to find a store near you. If you are looking for exceptional value on some great furniture for your home, the place to go, as always, is Ashley. And now's the time to do it because of their President's Day sale, which is still going. Discover hot buys starting at just $349 or a nice 5-piece sectional for just $47 a month. These President's Day savings will not last much longer, so don't miss out. Save up to 20% off or enjoy 60 months no-interest financing with no minimum purchase, happening now at Ashley. Eagles Podcast, Quacketology, free agency on the offensive side of the ball rolls on, and we move now to the Zach Pascal region. But we start with a tight end whose name we have just dragged through the mud all episode long, and that is Cade Otton. We are projecting as the third highest paid in terms of guaranteed money of the players that we're talking about today, 27 years old. We are projecting him at $345, 30 guaranteed, which might be light.
Yeah,
he might get more than that. Not a big play threat, but probably the of all the tight ends on the market, this is the most proven starting two-way player.
Yep, 60 catches, 600 yards, and 850 plus snaps each of the last 2 years. Just a professional, top third of the league type tight end.
Mm.
Yeah, right.
Top third of the league? I feel like you're locking in the middle third.
Top of the middle third.
Top third of the league tight end. That
yeah,
that means he's borderline top 10.
Yeah, I think that probably is where he is. I think he's 13th, 12th.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just outside the top 10. I feel like just in terms of production, and and we should say, cohabitation matrix. Josh Grizzard would probably be able to give the Eagles a lot of good intel on Cade Otton and how to best utilize him and how to get the best out of him. But again, I think to me, the thing is he's a little bit younger than Dallas Goedert, but realistically, like if you're in this market for tight ends, why wouldn't you just keep Dallas Goedert?
I think I agree with you.
Especially, I wouldn't want to sign Cade Otton to a 3-year deal. And I think that's probably what he's looking for. I'd rather sign somebody with more theoretical upside at a lower cost.
Mm. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from? Cade Otton, Joe.
That was pretty good, actually. When did you come up with that?
The day that I realized he was a draft prospect.
Wait, have you done this before? Have I missed it?
I don't know if I've done that before, but I've certainly
like I said,
leaned into the
card
cotton before. And he's going up against Deami Brown, and you're talking about a rebound, buy low wide receiver. Deami Brown basically did nothing over the course of his rookie contract with the Commanders, and then had that breakout playoff run with the Commanders last offseason. You turned that into a solid contract 1 year with the Jags, and then sort of went kerplunk after that, and lost an opportunity after playing the first half of the season. You're talking about like maybe a league minimum, $1.5 million guarantee here.
Yeah,
just as a guy to add on the outside. What do you think of Deami Brown?
Actually, I'm struggling with this more than I probably should, because I think Deami Brown is probably more realistic in the sense that he's got draft pedigree and he will be cheap. It's like a dart throw. Cade Otton, I think I'm going Deami Brown here. I don't see enough.
Is this where you want to insert Mekhi Becton into the conversation?
No, I was going to go like for like with an offensive lineman.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just asking.
It is interesting, but no, I'm going to save it. I know where Mekhi's going to fit.
Okay. Deami Brown moves on. I
like that.
I think somebody else is gonna throw real money at Cade Otton that the Eagles are not going to value.
Right. I think Deami Brown has a chance. I got to practice saying his name. I feel like
I thought it was Deami.
Deami or Diami? Let's see.
Dianu.
Oh, they don't have a pronunciation on. No, it's Deami. You're right. Deami.
There you go. All right, moving on. Next tight end.
Deami. I don't know.
I mean, you'll never see Lindsay's face, you people out there, you sick people. But if you could just have seen the smile on Lindsay's face as she dropped that in, you too would have had your day made. All right. Now we got a couple of real names. This is a real name off. Okay?
A name off.
It's a name off. David Njoku. These are some normies. A lot of this episode you could take to people and be like, oh, they're talking about guys you haven't even heard of. This one,
that's what you come for. You got to learn about the.
This is for the normies. David Njoku against Russell Wilson. So David Njoku is going to be.
This is a name off.
David Njoku is going to be 30 years old. Only had 33 for 293 last year.
Yeah, Harold Fannin took over. Yeah,
Harold Fannin took over. Also, bad quarterbacks there. This is an interesting one for you. This is another little nugget I found. Do you know that it has been 30 years, EJ, since the Eagles last had a player from the U score a touchdown for them?
Really?
And there have only been very few. There's only been two guys, essentially. Chris T. Jones was the last one who did it.
Okay. I would have never.
And then there was one other guy in the early 90s who had a couple. I forget the name. The name is escaping me. But that's basically it. And he's going up against Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, who, if he comes to the Eagles, I don't know if you're ever going to stop making the Russell Wilson Jalen Hurts comparison. It's going to be a lot for the rest of us to take.
I won't make it. I just wanted the record to be shown that I did make it and got no sold on the show. I think this one's pretty straightforward. David Njoku should go through to the next round. I'd be surprised if they sign Russell Wilson as their backup quarterback.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not the right scheme fit.
Yep.
Njoku we have here I have at a 111 with like 7.5 guaranteed. You think that's light? Would you, if that's basically what Dallas Goedert's going to get paid, would you rather pay Dallas Goedert or David Njoku?
If that's what Dallas Goedert's getting paid, I think they re-sign Dallas Goedert on that deal. I think in a world where Dallas Goedert gets paid on a multi-year deal somewhere else, David Njoku would be intriguing. He's not, I don't think he's actually like a plus in the run game, but he has the physical traits to be.
Stay tuned for much more in Quacket time.
I thought you were going to land what I was saying, but instead you just...
Instead I didn't.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Didn't crash.
He's not as much of a plus in the run game as you would expect for his physical profile, but I mean, at the very least, like, I can't discount David Njoku because he is my type of player. Again, he is like a big physical. I wrote athletic freak in my notes. He's got the draft pedigree, even though he's older.
I think one of the notes there is whatever money they spend on David Njoku will be offset by the savings from having to buy him shirts or not having to buy him shirts.
We are so on the same page. I was going to say this to you as well. Like, looking for his pictures, I was like, this guy never wears a shirt. Literally, I've never seen more pictures on the website than like.
I was gonna say
never in the uniform.
I was gonna do the thing that like everybody does, like, oh, if I was him, I wouldn't wear a shirt either, but I probably would. Like, what about my personality would suggest that I'd be walking around with the midriff all the time?
Yeah. Although I don't know, I feel like, yeah, if you grew up as you did and just happened to have that body, I agree with you. But like, if either of us just woke up tomorrow morning
looking like that
and were David and then had David Njoku's body, I probably would not wear a shirt.
But you know what? Let me ask you this. If Charlie Kolar walked around with a midriff all the time, are we sure he wouldn't look like David Njoku?
Yes.
I'm not so sure.
You got to calm down.
I'm not so sure. What about like Isaiah Likely?
Just because he's the man of your dreams doesn't mean...
He's the man I need. What about like Isaiah Likely? If Isaiah Likely walked around with the midriff, would we feel like, oh, he's a freak, he's an athletic marvel?
Oh, I'm not saying that he's an athletic marvel. I'm just saying he's always walking around without a shirt on.
But I said it, and now I have to look internally and wonder, like, if this guy wasn't always walking around with his shirt, rolled up, what I still think, because you can do a little bit of myth making with that. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, Saquon doesn't do that. If Saquon did, well, I guess Saquon's a bad example. Who is an athlete that if they rolled up the shirt, who would like the narrative would shift for them?
Willie Lampkin.
I don't know about that one.
Tanner McKee.
Tanner McKee.
Next up, David Njoku takes out Russell Wilson. Next up, another tight end. Daniel Bellinger, formerly of the New York Giants, 25 years old, coming off his rookie contract. Danny Bells, at least 8 starts, all 4 seasons, but never more than 300 receiving yards. This is someone who is not going to be any kind of impact in the passing game, but gives you a little bit of blocking competence. I think I probably went a little rich on the guarantees here. $15 million guaranteed for a 3-year, $22 million deal. But that is like, guys there are tight ends who are getting paid like $7-8 million, as Fran has discussed, and he would be someone who maybe if you're signing him, you're pairing with a true wide receiver 3, and he's going up against the player who the day the Eagles signed Sean Mannion, Fran texted us, and said this guy needs to be involved in Quacketology, and that is Brandin Cooks. Brandin Cooks, who played at Oregon State with Sean Mannion. Problem is, if he's in Philadelphia, he's never going to know if Malcolm Jenkins is lurking around the corner. He's going to be scared every single
looking
day.
over his shoulder. I like that. It's a good callback. Brandin Cooks is the answer here. This one can be a quick one, easy one.
Okay.
Right. He also, Brandin Cooks overlapped with Sean Mannion in Los Angeles with the Rams.
Okay.
They're probably besties.
I don't think they're besties.
If we ever hear from Sean Mannion, we can ask him.
I do, as I put in here, though. I bet they play beer pong together.
We'll ask him one day.
All right, Brandin Cooks moves on. Congratulations to Brandin Cooks. Next up, a wide receiver on wide receiver matchup. Calvin Austin, the third, against Marquise Brown. So 2 speedsters. Calvin Austin, they list him at 5'9". He's really, I think he weighed in at, or he measured at like 5'7.5".
Man.
He's small, but he can fly. We've got 333 here with 20 guaranteed. Sound like he could go to a worse passing offense? I think you would look at him, like premium Quez Watkins.
I was going to say like premium Britton Covey, but he doesn't have the return juice, right?
I think he's got a little bit of return juice, but yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes up against Hollywood Brown, who actually was a little bit more productive last season than I had thought. Yeah, very quiet, 587 receiving yards this year, but a surprisingly low ADOT. And I also I put in here, Marquise Brown is a reminder of, we've talked about the quandary the Eagles have this year at 23. Tackle, you got to take a tackle versus wide receiver, and that was their decision. Andre Dillard versus Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
Turned out neither one was like a great answer, but Hollywood Brown would have been better.
Yeah. I lean Marquise Brown. I always screw this up. Was Marquise Brown the receiver that played with Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma? Or was it CeeDee Lamb?
CeeDee Lamb.
I always screw that up. I don't know why the two are like conflated in my head. It doesn't make any sense. It's one of my worst blind spots that I just aired out on the podcast.
We should all be so lucky. And one of your worst blind spots. That's
but it's like
worst.
But like when I say it, there's always somebody that's going to be like, "What the hell is that guy talking about?"
Fine.
Yeah. And I am a Texas Longhorns fan. I should know Oklahoma's, lore. I'd still go Hollywood Brown here though,
because they're not going to spend for Calvin Austin.
Yeah. I think there's an argument for Hollywood Brown as just a field stretcher.
Wow. Oh, very quickly. I'm going to say the votes were slow to come in there, but Hollywood Brown. And by the way, hit the like button.
For Lindsay. She's been working hard today.
She's been, there's steam coming off the computer.
She's even still got the mic down because she doesn't got time to flip it up.
So show some goddamn respect.
Although I listened to the show yesterday, you guys are you're berating people to hit the like button. My approach is usually, guys, it really helps us out if you hit the like button. We'd really appreciate it.
And my approach is, I do not respect you unless you hit the like button. And even then I might not.
Okay. Different approaches.
All right. Now.
That's why Baskin Robbins has 33 flavors.
Time to talk about your jilted ex. Chig Okonkwo showed up to Quacketology today.
Feeling good.
Thinking, I know I got my boo on my side. And he has been absolutely sideswiped by this Charlie Kolar situation. He's dealing with a broken heart, to say nothing of everything else. But he does enter free agency as a 25-year-old with experience as a starter, some big playability, can do a little blocking in a pinch. He's going up against Braxton Jones, who is an interesting player here from the Chicago Bears. Can start at right and left tackle. Not a great player, but can play both sides. Lost his job, struggled with some injuries the past couple seasons. I think you're gonna. You will like his traits, right? He does have those big long arms.
Yeah, so where did he play right tackle? Because did
he only play left?
I think he's only left tackle. So
I thought he played on the right side as well.
I think he maybe practiced there before. I hadn't seen any experience on the right. But I actually was gonna put Mekhi Becton in for him. How many do we have left? Can I shoehorn Mekhi Becton in a little bit later?
There are 3 matchups after this.
All right, I'll shoehorn him in later. Chig Okonkwo makes it through easily here. Just because I like Charlie Kolar so much doesn't mean that Chig Okonkwo can't be a Final Four type player for us. I think Chig
has never missed a game in his NFL career.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
He's fun, man. He is fun to watch. He's both a vertical threat, and he also is really dynamic with the ball in his hands. Like, he's got great contact balance. He's just an explosive player. I think he's at least average as a run blocker. I don't think he's going to, tear up trees as a run blocker, but I think he's fine. I think if you signed him and you drafted Nate Borkacher as the name drop that just going through Fran's list of dirty work tight ends, you could really rebuild the room around Chig Okonkwo and feel good about it. I'm still in on him. I think when I did there will be something coming out on our channel probably the next couple days. I think Chig Okonkwo is still my number 1. So I like Charlie Kolar a lot.
But that's who you like. Do you think the Eagles will be interested?
I think they will. I mean, he's been somebody who's been linked to them before on the trade market. Yeah, I think he doesn't have like the cohabitation stuff, but no, I think that he is like a player that you think the second chapter is going to be better than the first four. He has to be the third chapter for him.
Okay. I think somebody might be interested in having Braxton Jones actually compete to start, so I'm happy to go Chigo Okonkwo for this round. Next up, Rashid Shaheed, the speedster from the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, going up against Greg Dulcich, an interesting contender here. Greg Dulcich, the tight end, most recently with the Miami Dolphins. Did you do any work on Greg Dulcich?
Just a very, I mean, I know he's a former third-round pick, decent 2025, but mostly underwhelming career is what I have written down.
Very underwhelming career.
Yeah.
Basically nothing until the second half of this past season. After he was picked up by the Dolphins, waived by the Giants. And then he put a little something together. I was watching some Greg Dulcich.
Oh, so you're in on Greg
I am a little bit in on Greg Dulcich. Now, can't block. I mean, he tries.
Yeah.
There's some effort there. This is not someone who you can squint and see and say is like your starting tight end. This is someone you are adding maybe to caddy, someone who is a better blocker.
Yeah.
But he looks like the player that he was supposed to be as a prospect. There's some dynamism in the open field. He had a bad fumble where it's just a very soft fumble. But what is interesting to me is that this is a player who never lived up to the hype until he found a home in this offensive system.
Yeah.
Right? He played for Sean Payton, different kind of system. Played for Brian Daboll, different kind of system. Then he gets into, it's not to say that Mike McDaniel is Sean Mannion, but it's something similar. And I feel like he could be I don't think he's going to get paid more than $3 million.
Yeah.
A good piece to pair with somebody. I kind of like the idea of add Greg Dulcich to the back end of your tight end room.
You talked me into it. I'm in.
I mean, they're also not signing Rashid Shaheed.
When I saw Rashid Shaheed, I was like, all right, this is where Mekhi Becton comes in. But no, let's go Dulcich. Dulcich? Dulcich.
Yes. Greg Dulcich moves on. 2 matchups left.
Oh, man.
Christian Kirk. Not Kirk Cousins, although some people, that is how they describe him. Christian Kirk. Gerard Johnson connection.
Yeah.
Had a big playoffs, but an underwhelming regular season. He goes up against Jonah Williams, which is an interesting one. A similar profile to Alijah Vera Tucker that you talked about before. First round pedigree. Has played well-ish when healthy, but has struggled with injuries.
Mm-hmm.
But unlike Vera Tucker, not a lot of versatility here. I mean, he's only played right tackle.
Right.
Jonah Williams against Christian Kirk. How do you find?
I like Jonah Williams. He's played both tackle spots. So he is a swing tackle. I think he could be like a Fred Johnson replacement. 74 starts over 5 years. He has draft pedigree, former first-round pick, and crossed paths very briefly with Jamal Singleton with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, look at you. Good find.
There's enough. You'll be proud of me. Look at this. Color-coordinated notes.
That's pretty good.
The good stuff and the bad stuff. The draft guide, man. Looking at the draft guide's got me thinking about how I could really step up my note-taking. I want to put Jonah Williams.
Knee and shoulder injuries the past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
But as a swing tackle, you probably feel okay about him being able to, come into a relief stint at either tackle spot. So I'll push him through to the next round.
I kind of like the idea of Jonah Williams is like your draft proofing your Lane Johnson replacement.
Yes. Yeah. He's the Matt Hennessy of this year's free agency.
You keep bringing up Matt Hennessy. That's not Matt Hennessy didn't even make
the process of Matt Hennessy rather than the result. Let's say.
I think you're using the wrong person.
Who would be a better example on the offensive line?
I don't know, but
yeah,
not Matt Hennessy.
Don't knock it until you thought.
I could definitely see.
Yeah,
Jonah Williams.
Now we have a problem.
Well, here we go. Time to get to the very last matchup.
Yeah, we have a problem.
Mike Evans. Our number 2 seed based on total projected guarantees. Mike Evans. There's the Josh Grizzard connection.
Of it all.
$35 million guaranteed we're looking at here. 2 for $51. Obviously, this would only be in a post A.J. Brown roster for the Eagles. Not going to be cheap. As you see, they're coming off year 12 was finally the first time that he didn't top 1,000 yards receiving. And he's going up against another Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Someone Fran and I discussed yesterday.
We have a problem.
Kieft, the tight end who is not really a tight end. He is a tackle, but he does play tight end. 0 targets the last 2 seasons. He's coming off a season-ending injury, but he is a minimum salary. This guy is going to be our blocking tight end and make a difference as a blocker.
We have a problem.
I don't think we have a problem.
Okay. All right. I mean, I like to Keeft. I thought it was kind of fun. You know that's my type of player.
Okay.
But we have to add Mekhi Becton into the mix. The play-in game to get into the first round.
Throw him in.
I think Mekhi Becton probably wins here, though.
Oh, I disagree.
Really?
Why would the Eagles sign Mekhi Becton?
So you're saying your argument is going to be they don't have Jeff Stoutland anymore and therefore cannot count on that level of play for Mekhi Becton.
Yeah.
My question is, does Mekhi Becton have an opportunity to start anywhere else? Do you think he gets a starting opportunity on a different team in free agency? It's always tricky with the offensive line guys because they might get some opportunities elsewhere.
Since last offseason, Mekhi Becton is much more interested in being in Philadelphia than the Eagles are in having Mekhi Becton on the team.
That's fair. But at a lower, I mean, he actually got signed for real money last year. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case this year. And at some point, he is a upgrade to the depth of your interior offensive line.
I don't think the Eagles love Mekhi Becton.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I hear where you're coming from, but you're going to go Keeft over Mekhi Becton. This actually set up kind of nicely.
Now, you think Mike Evans no chance in a post A.J. Brown world?
Yeah, it seems like he's probably going to get more than. What did you project him at? I apologize.
251.
Yeah, I don't think the Eagles are in that market for a receiver, even in a post A.J. Brown world. I think in a post A.J. Brown world, you were drafting a receiver high, not signing Mike Evans. I'm leaving it up to you.
Keeft.
Okay.
Chief Keeft, as
Chief
Rad
Keeft.
Frack says.
I like it. Baker Mayfield called him the tone setter for the entire team.
Really?
Yeah. I read
research.
an article because what was his season-ending injury? I should know that instead of the Baker Mayfield quote. Yeah, he had the season-ending injury, and apparently, like the entire team was devastated because he is so like the soul of the team.
All right, so there you have it.
Grizzard's going to push for him.
That means that on Friday, now tomorrow we're going to do the same exercise for the defensive side of the ball. We'll get through the first round with those guys, and then they're all going to come together on Friday to declare a winner. That means on Friday, these are the matchups that you'll see on the offensive side of the ball in the second round. Isaiah Likely against Adam Trautman. Charlie Kolar against Zach Ertz, tight ends heavy. Jimmy Garoppolo against Alijah Vera Tucker. Kendrick Bourne against Romeo Doubs. De'Ami Brown against David Njoku. Brandin Cooks against Marquise Hollywood Brown. Chigo Okonkwo against Greg Dulcich. And Jonah Williams against Keeft. What a ride.
Man, this is fun. This has been one of like the things that I used to enjoy as a sicko that I now get to be a part of. It's fun. I enjoyed it.
All right. Well, let us know.
Intense.
Let us know if there are any decisions you disagree with. But mostly, let us know who you think has a chance to go all the way. As we continue on tomorrow, Fran will join us for the defensive side of the ball. Thank you to Lindsay for getting all the graphics together. It looked great. We will see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Also, Brandon Graham Unblocked live at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, so don't miss that. You got something to say? Oh, you're just getting ready to hit the button. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, EJ.
Up the Villa.
Thank you, Cade Otton, for letting us have some fun on your behalf. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
You didn't let us.
And as always, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.